that I don't get any more telephone calls. Like, I was just getting into it. You guys were here, and now every time that I feel like, oh, I got a free moment to myself, my phone rings. I have an iPhone, the iPhone 11 or the iPhone 12, I don't even know. And it locks up when people call. So, I don't know. Is the conversation meant to be if that happens? I have no idea. I know I'm looking kind of tired because I've been in my work from home mode all day long, for days actually. The only places that I really go to are the gym and the grocery store, and then sometimes, our night outs or whatever. So, anyways, so I don't know if the other video is staying up or not. I have no control over. I've lost control over technology, and then I battle with it. Like, do I really even want to gain more control of technology? Like, that's like the clear way that things are going. But I recognize, for me, it is not healthy to be so connected. I do have an Instagram addiction. That Instagram is my jam. I like that it's mindless, but even then, like today, I have like a major headache, and I don't even believe in headaches. Like, but this is for real, for real. And I want it to rain, so that I don't have to water this grass. So we already talked about how my landscaper dude is just not up to what he needs to be up to, and what the backyard project should be, with getting turf on all the fence, but it's not there, even though it's paid for, allegedly ordered and sitting somewhere. But it's been raining. I think that's also contributing to my mood. So let me just set the tone. I'm not in the best mood right now. I'm not. And it's just like a combination of things. I think last year was easier for me because what I'm recognizing about myself is that I'm a sprint person. Like, I could do anything for like 1 hour, but if you set me on a course and I don't know when it's gonna be over, or like right now, I'm trying to learn to like run 3 miles. I just because to get your 10,000 steps in a day, you have to do, it's about 3 miles and some change, or 4 miles and some change. I can't remember. Now I can't remember. It's like 4 miles and some change. So I'm like, if I could walk a mile around my everyday life and then go do 3 miles on the treadmill, I would be fine. But pacing yourself through difficult times is so challenging for me, especially if I don't know where the end point is gonna be. And I was talking to my grandfather today, and he said that the news is more frightening than it is enlightening, and I totally agree. You guys know I don't watch it, but sometimes you do have to keep up with the headlines just to know what's gonna be open, what's gonna be closed, where you can travel to, what you can't do, and even no matter where you stand on it, it's exhausting. It's like, go ahead and make a final decision. Are we doing concentration camps for those who don't want to? Is it needs to be a new society for those who do want to? Just go ahead, rip the band-aid off, and let me get back to a life that I kind of know what's going to happen. And I think for a lot of people that's challenging, because I will always hear my friends, I use that term very loosely. I will always hear girls that I talk to always say last year, like in a joke, like, in the midst of a pandemic, you gonna act like this in the midst of a pandemic? Not in the midst of a pandemic. And I will always hear that kind of stuff, and it'd be like, now y'all are being like too dramatic. But today I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, my focus is off. My job keeps telling me that I need to take vacation time because I haven't really used vacation days. I took 1 week, and I get about 29 days a year. And I also carry days over from last year, and you can only carry 2 weeks. I think you can carry 50% of your time. But I'm like, I don't want to waste my time because I like to go on like real vacations. So, just trying to schedule things and knowing where I can go and what I can do, it just on so many different levels for me is very frustrating, very maddening. And also just getting, and I am very thankful. That's where I left off in my last video. I am very thankful to be working from home right now. I feel that God puts people in the right place, because if I had to be front facing with society right now, I don't know how it would function, because despite everything that's really going on in the world, people have really gotten a real sense of, I'm going to use my word, entitlement, hurry up and do it now. It's like either people are like really, really nice and low key or just really unhinged. Like, why are you acting like this over something so petty, like no matter where you go? So I'm very thankful that I don't have to be in that kind of dichotomy. It's nowhere on my agenda. I'm working from home. There's a lot of remote jobs out there. Even though it is a change. Like, I remember I used to admire people that work from home, but it is a challenge because you have to, especially for now, as long as I've been doing it, it's over a year now. You really do have to create your own routine and your own healthy outlet. And when my boss was telling me to take vacation time and stuff, because we're in our busy season, which we're not really allowed to take vacation time, but when the calendars open back up, that I should, or I should just start putting in for it now because it's like I don't have vacation time on the books coming up. And I was just like, and he put in, and that's something that I have really learned is there's so much talking at me, right? And I'm sure you feel the same way, even just listening to this video, where it's just someone just word vomiting at you, telling you their experience, and you don't really get to really just feel or just be or just connect and just be genuine. And sometimes, as they say, you have to check in on yourself and check in and say, now, how am I really doing? How am I really feeling right now? And that's not always a negative. Sometimes it can be like an absolute positive, like, well, I am having a great day. Like, and a lot of my days are like that, where I feel like I don't feel like, oh, well, I do. I make myself have a great day. I feel like I wake up, I roll over, I can go to work, I can put food on the table. I know I'm gonna have food that day, and I'm gonna have a roof that day. Even if this is like, just a little rental house or whatever, it's been a home to us during these trying times. So I am thankful for that, and there's no buts to that, right? It's better just to stay in that vein of what you have in front of you and what you can do with it. And it's so easy to get distracted from what you have control over. My boss, I feel like he is definitely mastering that. Our computer system was like acting up, and it acts up probably once a month. And he was like, "Look, we don't have control over that." He loves to say that we don't have control over that. We don't have control over that. I'm like, dude, what are you listening to that we don't have control? The things that we don't have control over, we're not gonna worry about it. Like, our system was going down, we could do like no work, but we had a meeting coming up with my boss's boss in like 15. It was 20 minutes. He's like, we don't have control over not being able to use the system right now, but we can go ahead and get ourselves ready in case we have to turn our cameras on. And I just thought that was like, wow, like imagine you just feeling so, and I think everybody right now feels the pressure if you are a working person to perform and to almost overperform or to make sure, I call it hitting, that you are hitting your metrics because you don't want anything to get in the way of you and your bread and butter during these trying times. So it's like subconsciously, even if you do practice a more peaceful life, and when I say practice, it is a practice. You have to practice a more peaceful life. You have to practice a more joyous life. You have to practice a mindset of gratitude. You really have to practice keeping in touch with the God that you serve and what you know to be everlasting truth. And these particular trying times, I mean, you really do, because it's it's almost like the time of upside down. When we need a lot more compassion, there's a lot more judgment. And even myself, I have to practice that because sometimes I'm just like, oh my God, you just feel like you're gonna fly off the rails. Like, I just can't believe you believe like that. And it's like, that has been going on for such a long time. It just feels like a fatigue, like an absolute just emotional fatigue. So what I do, I come out here and I float in my float. And I mean, I literally float around. I do yoga. I exercise, trying to get my physical together, and at peace, because it also helps the mental. Also, being at home so much, it helps the mental to get out and get active. I'm not like a neighborhood exercise person. That's why it kind of like gets on my nerves when they talk about shutting down the gyms, because people are like, oh, what's the big deal? Don't if it's not a big deal to you, don't worry about it. Don't comment on it. If it's a big deal to me, just let it be a big deal to me, okay? Please, just please, okay? So, yeah. it's nobody could have prepared us, right? And it's, my grandfather was like, if you think too long, you'll end up in the twilight zone. I'm like, that's exactly what it is. We're in the twilight zone right now, absolutely, without a doubt. We're absolutely in the twilight zone. You know, you just never know what's coming at you and the correct way to process it because there's so much I could say on that topic, and I don't really feel like getting into it on the internet. There's so much I could say. But I will say that for me, and I know it's going to sound weird, but do you ever get like subconscious thoughts where it could be a word or a feeling or something, and it just keeps being like reoccurring in your mind? Like, people pick those one word affirmations for the year, and like, oh, I see that word everywhere, or I feel like that's my word. Like, sometimes, like right now in my life, it's like the strangest word that I keep hearing everywhere, which is like not an everyday word. It's the word flow. Like when we do yoga, you flow. Like if you're doing like a faster pace, it's called a yoga flow. We're getting into our flow, and then all of a sudden I start hearing that Tony Braxton song, "Let It Flow," and then it's just like I just keep seeing all this stuff. Just about, I was listening to a sermon, and it was all about alignment, alignment, alignment. And I do feel like I need that. I was like, man, but I just need to flow. And in the sermon, it like out of nowhere, it was like, so many people are concentrated on the prosperity mindset and they're trying to get into, the prosperity, but you have to have alignment before you can get into the flow. And I was just like, now, you know what? That's too much. That's too much. That's too, and it's not like I'm trying to pick up that word of flow. It's just like, it just keeps coming to me. But also, what really keeps coming to me is like being a wolf in sheep's clothing. That is just, for some reason, it's just like, you never know what someone else is thinking or what their true motives are, and don't act like you know. Even if people just say, oh yeah, yep, I believe you, I trust you, we're on the same page. Don't believe it, because there are wolves in sheep clothing that are just looking to capitalize off of anything or to promote themselves. I'll tell you guys a petty story that kind of bothered me last week. Yeah, last week. So exactly, it's right. So I'll tell you a petty story that happened last week. So with me working from home, I have someone that calls me, a female from a coworker that calls me almost every day. I don't know why. She's single. My boyfriend travels a lot. So we talk. Normally we talk about like business stuff, like starting a business, or like we know different people that have businesses that used to do what we do for a living, and that's how I feel like our conversation goes. We talk about working out. I told her how I'm addicted to my Apple Watch. She ended up getting a watch. She even ended up getting a treadmill for her house. So I thought that was the nature of our conversation. One day she was even on this side of town. She wanted to come over, whatever. I know I really don't like this house that much. Why do the craziest bugs, like they just make all kind of noises? But I still was just like, I'm normally not that kind of person, but with the world such the way that it is, everybody likes having the adult conversation now, especially people who are stuck in the house with kids. So I was like, okay, girl, come on over. So she's come over to my house and just sat down, had a couple of drinks, and so I don't know why. I guess it does feel good to have that outlet. That's part of the keeping of the pace, is having somebody else in your life that you can kind of sound off of on a day-to-day basis. But what I personally realize is that those day-to-day relationships don't really work for me. They don't. I don't feel the need to get oh so comfortable with people. I think that when you get too comfortable with people, they get out of pocket. And I don't think you can really progress if you're like in one of those races where your ankles are tied together. Does that make sense? I think a relay race is fine. I run ahead a little bit, pass baton to you. You run ahead a little bit, I pass baton back. Stuff like that is fine when you're bouncing it off. But when you're just talking every single day like that, I don't know if that's really like the place for growth. I think it's a place for intimacy if that's something that you need in your life, but we all don't need that. And I know a lot of people may disagree with me, but I know that right now in my life, I don't need that. So, anyways, she calls me. I'm here to listen. I ain't got nothing to do, except work, go to the grocery store, get in this pool, go to the gym. She calls me, and then out of the blue, she been calling me now for months and months and months, and she starts telling me, mentioning somebody else's name. Sagittarius, yes, I'm very full of discernment because this story is about to be about discernment. And I want to make a whole separate video about this with some makeup on and everything because I do not. I'll tell you discernment. Thank you for bringing that word up. It is a red flag to me. People who use words like shady. Okay, I know you may not like it, but those are not my kind of people. I have never met a person who used the word shady. Okay, I'll put it in context. So she called me and then she told me about some person that she wanted us all, another girl, she wanted us all to go out and have drinks with. That kind of stuff is not my scene at all. I will hang out with you one on one and we will kiki one on one, but I am not a click up type person. Whenever I do go out in large groups, it is because that is my boyfriend style. But he's a dude, so dudes have a different way of doing things, okay? I was like, she was like, oh, but before you remember when we used to talk on the phone on conference calls? I was like, no. At the last year, whatever year it was, 2020, when we went home, I remember being in several group chats and keeping up with a lot of people from the office. But I got a new phone. So I didn't transfer those numbers. Like if I really didn't. It wasn't some people I really do want to like talk to and I'll like reach out to them on the IM or whatever. So long story short, she allegedly I don't ever remember even being on a three-way call with these queens, but allegedly the girl said that I she mentioned something about her husband, and I said, well, who was her husband? I don't even know her husband. And she said that I must have thought that I hung up the phone and I was talking about her husband. And first of all, I don't ever remember being on the phone with this individual. That's first of all. Second of all, you're telling me that you think that I was talking about your husband. We work in the office together. I've never seen your husband. Never ever. Maybe he was on a picture on your desk. I have no idea about him. None. Third of all, you didn't call me back or text message me or tell me that you heard this. And it happened so long ago, even if it did happen, the person that's telling me this doesn't even remember. They just relaying that this person feels like that I am shady because of that. So I said, wait. I said, look, I'm gonna tell you like this. I am who I am, and one thing about me is I am a very genuine person. Once again, Sagittarius energy, right? If you know a Sagittarius, you know one. Sagittarius, we do not care. We do not care. We will tell you we do not care. Girl, we do not care. So if you consider that being your word shady, that's on you. But she was like, well, sometimes you can be shady. So I said, wait a minute. I said, because something else happened in their relationship why they are not friends. And long story short, they are not their friendship broke apart because the person who's using the shady word, exactly, I don't do the group thing. Drama is not my thing, right? These girls make up drama, y'all. I don't. There's so much psychology about women that I don't even want to get into. So these girls, their friendship broke apart because the one girl who's bringing this to me felt like she was being used by this girl. This girl would take off from work and dump all of her work on her desk, and then when she would go out every so often, like on scheduled time, it was not reciprocated. So they were not friends. I'm the one that told her, befriend her again. Let her know how you feel. If you're so worried and concerned and all this kind of stuff, when you go back to the office, you want to know who you're going to be friends with and how it's going to be. Befriend her again. Give her another chance. And now here you come telling me, and it came, but the word for me is discernment. All I could hear when she said, the girl said the word shady, I was like, I have never in my life met anyone who used the word shady that was not deeply insecure. Never, never. That I have never met a person who used that word who did not have so many issues that I just didn't even want to deal with them. Like to me, that's a red flag because you didn't tell you. You're not saying that I'm lying. You're not saying that I'm rude. You're not saying I'm offensive. It's none of that. You're saying that I'm shady. Oh, sometimes it's just the way that you say things. She's like, I tell my mom that she's shady. And I'm like, is your mother telling you the truth? Do you think that your mother is trying to hurt your feelings? So let's choose a different word. You don't like her delivery? And I said, I take issue with people like that. I take issue with people who need everything to be sugar coated. I have no need for you. I have no use for you. We are not going the same place because to me, it's about exposure. Where are you going if you are sugar coated along the way? How far are you going? What new information are you obtaining? What are you doing if everybody just sugarcoats everything for you? I don't have anything in common. I really don't, and that's I don't. So she was like, yeah, but sometimes it's the way you say things. You kind of work. You kind of, and this is the one time that she said that I was shady. She couldn't handle me. So I'm all uplifting and motivational. This remember I told you I framed the context about the watch and everything. And I'm going to the gym like 2 hours a day, 2.5 hours a day. So my brain is on a whole different level. And she was telling me like how diabetes run in her family or whatever. Okay, and then she's like, she was gonna order the watch. I was like, girl, don't waste your money on a watch if you're not gonna use it. Don't even waste your money because it's not really necessary unless you're gonna use it. So she ended up ordering a watch, and then it was like the next day, because she was like, I'm gonna order the watch because I want to get serious about my health. I'm getting older, diabetes running my family. I need to get some weight off. Girl, the next day she told me that her watch came in and she was gonna go walk around the shopping plaza because she wanted to get a Cinnabon. I said, wait, wait, wait. You, you, that just you the person yesterday, ma'am. Yesterday you said you were concerned about diabetes and you're gonna exercise, but today you're gonna consider your exercise walking around with the objective to go get a Cinnabon. She's like, oh, I gotta go because you're being shady. I gotta go. I gotta go. Girl, that's not shady. And when people call me shady, I said, mm-mm. There's no shade here. The light is fully on. Bright light, sunshine, no trees around. This is the light. This is the truth to you. Now, you may not, but I think she was, not I think, she was offended. She definitely, but it's like, I have worked out before and failed at it. Nice is not real. But I'm just like, if you are so concerned with diabetes, that's your motivation for working out. Why would you tell? I would keep that to myself. You know what I mean? Like, what do you expect me to say to that? Like, I don't like nice. Hey, I know who that is. Hey, girl, hey. I like respectful. I'm not gonna like be offensive. I'm not gonna be abrasive. I'm not gonna like force my opinions on anyone. I'm not gonna do that. But if we're just having a casual conversation and you tell me you want to lose weight and you're afraid of diabetes because you're getting up there, she's over 40. Um, and then the next day you tell me you're gonna order a Cinnabon, I am that kind of intellectual person that's gonna make those connections and be like, ma'am, did you not just? But because certain mentalities, people who use words like shady, it's like to me it's a cop out of not wanting to be corrected. I just heard something. Y'all know I'm paranoid about being outside. I always think something coming to get me. But I'm just like, but it just made me recognize what it did for me. It put a red flag up on me about her. I told her, because she was like, oh no, we can go out. Maybe y'all should just talk it out. I said, girl, number one, I know I didn't say that. Number two, anybody who knows me well enough knows that if I did say it, I'm going to own it and tell you we do not care. like, like number three, I complain about my own man so much, I can't even imagine complaining about nobody else's man or making a comment about somebody else's man. Like the number one thing I complain about is my man. Why would I come? Girl, bye. Like, and she's like, well, maybe y'all should just. I said, no. What you ladies should do is y'all should have those drinks together without me and even have one for me. And she was like, oh, you don't think you can just change? I was like, no, ma'am. I like me. And I had to tell her that because I think people who use the word shady don't like themselves. They have so many insecurities and so many issues, which we all do, that they are not tapping into. They're trying to mask it. They're trying to hope that nobody else notices it or talks about it, which is fine, okay? But don't try to make somebody else feel that they should cater. Somebody put a comment that I can't see. That they should cater to you and your insecurities, because that's just not. I'm not trying to show everything. Folks be in total breakdown, scrambling. The human energy could be exhausting. Yeah, and that's kind of, and I feel, and this is how I feel about it. I know my kind of personality. I'm not for everyone. I am not going to, as the young folks say, I'm not going to diminish myself for some other woman. Why would I do that? Why? Like, I'll be honest with you, and some people may not be able to relate to it, but I'm not. I've never had to be a nurturer. I can't coddle like just simple truths in life. If you can't take a truth like that, then what is it? And I felt like all I do is try to like motivate and inspire, be like, oh girl, don't buy that. Just save your money. Just save up. Like, as you're getting extra money in for different things. And she always says that I sound like her mom, that me and her mom tell her the same exact stuff. Like, it's not like I'm coming out of left field and I'm just like, as we say back in the old days, ranking on somebody. I'm too mature for that. But if you see, and then what killed me when I said, well, let me ask you this. I said, do we sit on this phone and talk about people? She's like, oh yeah, sometimes we do. I'm like, I, I'm talking about people. I didn't know. Girl, and that to me was another red flag, because that is not even what I do. Like right now, I'm telling y'all a scenario. Is that like really talking about somebody? Is that just telling you the scenario that I'm involved in? I don't know. Like, that is exhausting to me. That is like so exhausting and such a waste of energy. And I think it puts me off from people, if that makes sense. It's more like, why can't we just be in a respectful, mature, adult way, open and honest with each other? Why does it have to be this big ego building that's not really challenging or changing anyone? Like, they're not growing. You want to sit around and have drinks and do what with that? As you walk around and call people shady, you can't say if I've been offensive or been rude or been, number one, have I been dishonest? That's and then number two, if you say that I can be shady, why are you not bold enough to point it out at the time? Now she did point out the Cinnabon thing. She said she couldn't take that. She literally that day, I remember that day, she literally got off of the phone, okay? she, she's like, oh, I'm gonna go. And I respect that. Because sometimes we're not like ready to hear. Just like I'm like right now I relate everything back to losing weight. How many times have I tried to lose weight and failed? So many times that I never wanted to try again. And what do personal trainers and when you watch all the videos about weight loss say? Your mind has to be right. If your mind is not in a certain place, then things are just not gonna go. It's just not. You're not gonna do anything because your mind doesn't want to. And I think a lot of people, and myself too, we walk around with blinders on. Um, a lot of people walk around with blinders on, and I don't want to be like that. I'd rather just like rip the band-aid off, know where I'm going wrong, and be able to correct course if I want to. Now, if I don't agree with it, that's one thing. But as long as you're not trying to like openly be offensive or rude or abrasive, that I just grow up. I'm just like, wow, these both of these chicks are older than me, like 40 something. I'm not 40 something yet. Both of them older than me. Talking about people being shady, like, girl, let me go do something else with my free time. Y'all suck on those drinks without me. It's just like, mm-mm. But I feel like with everything going on, me, who does not really like a whole bunch of stuff in my private life, I don't. It kind of forces you to make those kind of private, intimate relationships where you are trying to reach out for more communication because you're not around people so much. But then it's more eye opening to me as somebody said the word exhausting, how we are in this exhausting time. If you are not exhausted right now, please let me know what you are doing not to be exhausted. Like, I feel like, let me know, like, how are you staying perky, you know? Let me know. Let me know. Because sometimes for me, I don't stay perky. I just do. Like, I have my things that I want to do in the day, and I just do them. I have things that I know that make me feel good, and I just do them. But because everything has been so restricted, I feel like a bug just flew by me. And these bugs here are aggressive. I don't know why they're so aggressive, but they are aggressive. Um, but I feel, I just need some new outlets to do. I really want to relocate so badly, like soon, ASAP, 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 ASAP. I want to relocate. Um, just so many changes going on. It's crazy. So I don't know. I call this video "Pacing Yourself During Difficult Times." I, I know that I talk about it all the time, but finding coping mechanisms that work for you. I wish I had another term for coping mechanism, but it is what it is. Sometimes you just have to cope with this life. Yeah, it's so much stuff coming at you that you have to find the best way to maneuver through it. Today, I am trying not to eat my feelings. Normally, when I'm in this kind of mood and it's my rest day from the gym, I just want to go eat my feelings. Like, give me a plate of something good. Let me go to a restaurant with something good. But I lost a certain amount of weight and I'm still 30 pounds away from where I want to be. I'm fine to myself. I have a lot of friends, but I don't hang out. I keep to myself busy, plenty to do. Right. So I'm looking for like new positive outlets. I am thinking about getting a job outside the house. I limit my interaction studying for the leaf. Studying for the LSAT. Yeah. Oh, so much going on. Like, I limit my interactions a lot as well. I really, really do. But it's like, I think because people always see me going out, that they want to come out with me, and I'm cool with that. I'm fine with that. But what is so amazing to me is the level, the level of lies that become affixed to me. It's like that is not what was said. That is not even what happened. There's a story. I don't even want to tell that story on the internet, but it's just like people will take a little bit of truth, just like a salt grain of truth, and make it all out into a telenovela. And you're like, really? I did what? Now what did I do next? I did all that? Oh, you believe? Oh, you put that together, you said. Oh, when your brain put that together, that's what you came up with. Oh, okay. There was no evidence to support it. And I think I'm mature. That's number one about me is maturity. You can tell maturity on people. You can tell people who just dramatize everything. People make up stories to tell themselves that's right. They sure do. They sure do. And when you ask them, back in my last job, we used to always ask, "What are you basing that on?" We're like, "What is that based upon? What documents? What evidence? What date?" Just like when the girl said I was shady. But well, what have I done that was shady? She was quiet. I think she thought that I was gonna take the insults and and like want to fit in with their clique and not be strong enough to stand on my own. I think it took her aback the fact that I stood up for myself and I stopped calling her and I didn't take her calls and she still kept calling me. She still kept calling. Ask them to give context and they can't. Exactly. Exactly. And it's like I have been in that reoccurring situation so many times in my life that I know how to handle it now. People that say, "Oh, I'm gonna tell you this, but but don't go back and tell the person that blah 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 blah. They talking about you." It's like that just puts me to sleep. It's like, why are you not bold enough? Well, what are you doing when they're talking about me? You just listening? And if you believe that was true, these phones have conference calls very quickly. You can be like, 1 second, boop, we connected. Now go ahead and air your, what were you about to say? That's the kind of person I am. But it's so much insecurity and ego. insecurity and ego that keeps me away from people. And I think it is a discernment from the Lord Himself that allows me to see that and maneuver through that quicker than what I would be comfortable with. And it does help me kind of get through these challenging times. Like right now, I kind of do want to go out, but then kind of don't because it looks like it's gonna like pour down rain. Because normally it stays daylight here in Texas up until like 8:30 at night, 9 o'clock, and this is pretty dark, so it should be should be about to rain all night long. But it's like I'm not at the point. Oh my God, so much stuff here. The pool guy comes on Thursdays. I thought I saw a worm, girl. Was it a worm or a leaf? I don't know. Like a little tiny, 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 tiny one. But I think really, and we all did that, right? We created a bubble of people that we could deal with and that got us so that we can get through this difficult time the best way that we can. Also, though, I don't want to like abuse my bubble. Like my boyfriend is like my sounding board, and I've gotten to the point where it's like, I tell you too much stuff. I gotta quit telling you so much stuff because if you don't know, your man could be your biggest hater, boy. And like, and you know how women call you shady? Why are they comfortable talking to you about me? What does that say about the receiver of the fake message? People telling themselves, leave that one alone. Oh yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I think, I don't know. You guys know I love to analyze things, but one thing I have stopped myself from doing is analyzing the behavior of other people on a micro level. I that's not a good use of my brain power. When I can tell you I have like this spidey, they call it a blue alert. I never had that one before. Not an amber alert, but a blue alert came on. Somebody shot at a police officer, and they gave the description. It's a black man with dreadlocks running around in Corpus Christi, whatever Corpus Christi, and they want you to give info on that man. Well, I don't see no black man with dreadlocks running around back here. Do y'all? I don't see nobody back here. I'm just back here in my own yard. I lived in Florida and Texas. I like them both, but feel safer getting in the pool in Texas. No alligators. Yeah, I know, right? I can't. I'm really over Texas, but I can't move right. Well, I don't know. Girl, it's just too much. It's too much going on out there. This this is this is where I'm at for right now. But yeah, but I know my discernment is real because, and now I'm just about to ramble after 37 minutes. I was watching that show. What was it? That Love Is Blind show on Netflix. Oh my God. And I remember watching it. I think I watched it during quarantine because my boyfriend watched it with me. He hates reality shows. He will not watch reality TV. But it must have been during that time because that's the only reason why he would watch it. And, and just and see, that's what I mean. I just conserve my energy now. I don't even talk with a whole bunch of foolishness. I really don't. It's just like this is what the kids are doing now. This is what the women are accepting. It's like y'all can't see these crazy character traits that you might not be able to handle. I mean, the number one thing that I'm so glad I don't have to put up with because I don't know how it would do is that these modern men are people, not even humans. These modern humans are so narcissistic. They can't see anything that does not glorify them. There's no more taking one for the team. There's nothing about I'm going to support you just because I love you. This is all about what they can get and how whatever the situation makes them look or appear to be. And to me, that gets so that that just gets like what what do you expect when somebody is laying that out repeatedly to you? Now here come a fly. We had seafood over the weekend, I swear, and it's in the trash over there. It just the flies just came in. Don't get you started. You have some experience on that. And like so I love to watch single women with no children on social media. That's my jam. Even on shows and stuff. I don't know that I feel like I will always be a single girl in my mind. I spent so much of my life like that. I just jam to that. But then it's like these girls are like beautiful. Everything is perfect. Hair, nails, stomach, body, just cute. Look like they got a little money in their pocket. And then most of their conversation is either I gotta get money, I gotta get money, I gotta get money, I gotta get money, or this dude, I need a man, I need a man, I ain't got a man. It's like, damn, that's it? Your money or your lack of a man. That's all we got. No other hobbies, no other interest. And I and I'm just like, how can you look this good and just have this amount of limitations on yourself? That's just an observation that has caused me, like this fly, I'm about to get him. That observation has caused me to start backing up off of a lot of social media entertainment. You guys know I'm always trying to back up off of social media entertainment because it just gets real. It gets real strange, and the strangest thing is if you keep watching strange things, it becomes normal, and I don't like that at all. You know, I can be very controversial because I have something on my mind when I said that when you keep watching strange things, it becomes normal. I'll just say it like, okay, I'm the whole the baby situation. Okay, the baby is a rapper. I think he shot somebody. He's a gangster rapper. He befriended the guy that shot Megan Thee Stallion in the foot. Didn't get canceled for all those things. And then he goes out there on a stage of a festival and he said, and I listened to what he said, and you know how they used to be like, throw your hands up in the air if this, throw your hands up in the air if that. And he said, throw your hands up in the air if you don't have a disease that's gonna kill you in like 5 years or something like that. And he also said, throw your hands up in the air if you're a dude and you're not in the parking lot sucking off another dude. That's what he said. Those he put those things together and said that. And he said that a lot of the dudes look real suspect. So, you know, I don't know how that has become twisted into gay bashing and perpetuating a gay stereotype because that's not what he said. He said, throw your hands up in the air if this, and throw your hands up in the air if that. And he said that a lot of the dudes, are real suspect. So, but all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh, he gonna have to apologize. And what I don't like is that he came back and apologized. I don't like that because at first he didn't apologize, and then he started getting cut from all these different shows. And some people came out and like supported him. Not your real A-list people. Of course, they're not gonna do that. But it goes, and then because I guess I tuned into that story, there was another guy, I don't even know who this guy is, that made the cover, Lil Uzi or somebody, with this pink hair, and he's not, it didn't look refreshing. Let's just say it didn't look refreshing, okay? But it was just like, when did we get to this point? And and I'll say it, this agenda that's being pushed amongst men, and I'll say that it is rare, no matter what you think or believe, to actually see a masculine, happy man and not have it be toxic masculinity. This has become the new normal of every masculine man is toxic or abusive or unhappy. Like that's the image, or dumb. That's like the image that's being out there. But I think that is like so strange because you got all these people. I'm gonna have to go inside because as it gets darker, more and more bugs come out. And I don't have a little candle lit. But you have all of these women looking for men. Y'all are looking for men, but then they want to criticize and bash on masculine men or whatever they do. They done made a whole genre about it, and I'm just like I'm confused. If I sit here and listen to modern society, it gets unnecessarily confusing. People have really made entire platforms about men and women dialogues and what it means to be a black man, what it means to be a black woman, and going into the minutia of why that doesn't work or why that does work out, you know. And it's just like, love is so simple. You either feel it and you gotta work for it, or you don't and you won't. It's that simple. It's not rocket science. I don't know who told this new generation they had to figure out the ingredients. Oh no, my phone's gonna go dead. My phone's gonna go dead. I don't know who told them that they needed like every piece of ingredient to make homemade ravioli when we just make a spaghetti with store-bought noodles. Do you love them, and are you willing to stay and work with the one you have? If not, keep it moving. Don't sit there. Oh, you gotta do so much work behind it. Gotta work on this and work on that, and just, oh my God, you don't work yourself into a bunch of nothing, girl. Hence, the people that are on who make that their platforms are normally single people, which is also just like kind of like, wow, but y'all letting these people get in y'all ear, like hundreds, thousands of people, letting these people get in their ear and just talk this stuff. People are suffering from major identity crisis in this new culture. I'm staying in the house until everybody's chakras get balanced. That is so true. I probably need to balance my chakras too, because it's like, even if you are a balanced person, you can feel just like, oh my God, like, what is this? What is this zone that we're in? What is this twilight? What's happening here? I think balance is a really great word, you know. And I think instead of like just trying to be perfect or trying to be the best, trying to be the greatest, trying to be the most prettiest, trying to be the most richest, just how about trying to be the most balanced individual that you can be? Okay? Because it's like, let's balance this thing on out. Even if you are like so wealthy and successful, where's the rest? What are you doing with that? And I have to check myself a lot of times because I feel like something has bit me on my back. My back is always torn up. I have heat rash from 2 weeks ago. I don't know when I started getting heat rash over the last year, but I have to practice that. I struggle with being balanced because I am gonna kill you. Bug. I can sit here in my little house and be very contented doing my little things, and then when I come out of the house, it's like, oh my God, who are these people? Why are they here? Get away from me. And it's not like I'm like afraid of whatever everybody else is afraid of. I'm just so used to a slower pace of lifestyle that when I have to get out and get into traffic, I'm like, why is there traffic? You're supposed to be doing something else, you know. But it's about balance. It really is, and I think that's a hard thing for people to really capture in their life. I don't know. I feel like I talked about a whole bunch of nothing on this, but I like doing this because it helps me clear my mind. And I know I look crazy, and I know I kind of don't care. I kind of don't care today. Like, I didn't leave my house today, so I don't care. You know, but it is what it is. I hope and pray that everybody finds some kind of balance or pacing or coping, just so that it could just lift the lift the vibe. The vibe is so off right now. Lift the vibration. I miss when life was a lot calmer. And I don't know if it's because my age. I wonder how these young kids feel. Because I just feel like life is just like way too crazy. No matter what you say, you can offend someone. No matter what it is. No, girl, if I sit up here and be like, I don't like filming videos because my hair nappy. Oh my God, all the 4C, 3B people gonna come out and be like, oh, we don't use that term. We don't. It's like, girl, so that I don't have to offend anyone, let me not speak on anything. Which is very interesting because, you know, that's what a lot of other religions do. They don't say as many words, cultures. It's a complete difference of somebody said no matter what it is, they are offended. That's true. I'm like, wow. So I try to be hard to offend. I only take offense if somebody really tries to offend me. Like you gotta really go out of your way to offend me. You had to work on that if you offended me. You didn't just come up with that. You worked on it, you know? Right. They're gonna do a whole video on you if you say nappy. That kinda I don't know what's going on over there. Always something going on. Yeah, so, looking uncouth, you know. But I have babbled to you guys for almost an hour. A mosquito has definitely bitten me on the back, and I went nowhere. I was just here the whole time. The whole time, just letting my mind just go. Now, you know what's amazing as I'm about to sign off? I did not know that bugs would get this low to, like, chemically treated water. That's my little raggedy plantation that I have. I shouldn't say this. I mean it in the essence of the word plantation. I planted some flowers back there that you cannot see. Those I like those banana leaf trees, but I hacked this one down to death. This side is struggling. That side is going. I should have put some plant food on all of the crap. I'm thinking. I'm thinking about taking all these little ones up and putting something else down. See, this is what happens when you just stay home. You start tinkering around with stuff. I don't even like being outside. That's like that. Because I was over there for like a few days, and then as I was over there watering, I'm not gonna apologize, Andrea. No matter what somebody asks me to apologize for, I have learned to conduct myself in such a way that I owe this world no apologies. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you're sorry. I know, I know in my Noah that I'm not out here just offending people. You know, but my little struggle patch back there, I don't know what's going on. And then I had the audacity to be over there like a couple of weekends in a row. Everything was fine. I'm so afraid of seeing a snake. All of a sudden, I saw something that was brown that was moving around. I totally forgot about frogs. There was a frog over there, so that's why I stopped going back over there to kind of like tend to it. But I could have been watering this grass. I really think it's gonna rain though. 7:23 in this dark. I don't know if I should just water it or not. I'm gonna try not to eat my feelings because that's kind of productive to all of my working out. Look at that. Look at that. Look at y'all. Mosquitoes just trying to eat me. I gotta go. Thank you guys so much for listening to me. I don't know if you got anything out of the situation that we just had today. I did touch on some topics about, pacing yourself and finding things you like to do and finding balance more than anything. Don't try to be perfect. Don't try to be anything right now, but balanced and developing some coping skills. And if you are just living the life of just being utterly refreshed, let me know because I'm feeling pretty exhausted. I am terrified, and I hate to say that because the Bible says, be not afraid, be not afraid, be not afraid. I know this winter is going to be a mess. You can take it as a prophecy if you want to. It's going to be a mess this winter. It's going to be a mess. As fall and winter hits, it's going to be a mess. I'm probably going to just beat up a couple of pillows in my own house. I'm going to have to go because I think they're taking over now. I think they like, oh, this chick is fresh meat and she just out here like this. She just going to be out here being all human. All right, I'm going to let this unicorn go. I was gonna get on him, but I didn't want to show y'all all my body and stuff. I show y'all a little arm. Now I'm just being silly. Hopefully, you ladies enjoy your nights. Eat some food for me because I'm gonna try not to eat anything. And I really trained myself really good about not eating at night, but now I want to. You said don't apologize. You said what you said. Hell yeah, I said what I said. I'm grown. I'm full grown. I mean, I'm real grown. Like not pretend grown. My grandmother made me laugh when she was mad. She's like, "I'm grown. I'm 78 years old." I was like, "Grandmother, at 78, you don't have to tell people you grown." That's not something you have to do. I mean, some people have to like declare and decree it. You know, they still working on it, but this is me and my lifestyle. This is me, you know, at my level of maturity. Stir fry. I don't know. I don't even know if I wanted to eat something. What would I eat? I'm so used to not eating after dark now that sometimes I do have like a sweet treat after dark, but that's it. I want to go play in my planner. I haven't done that in forever. I need to make some progress in some areas and just trying to navigate around this stuff because I don't feel happy not having plans. I really don't. Like it was cool for a year and now thank you, Coco. So glad I actually caught you. Oh, okay, Andrea. Okay, girl. I'm not on here talking about anything. I'm probably gonna start trying to. No, I'm not even gonna say that. Who knows what I'm gonna do? Who knows? Besides, get out of this pool because these mosquitoes are really trying to get me. And look at the unicorn. He done said, "Bye, girl. I've been trying to leave you. I've been out." Bye, y'all. Thank you so much for watching.